Good evening. Today, let's discuss Michelle Howard. Michelle Howard is a U.S. military officer who was the first woman to become a four-star admiral in the U.S. Navy. She also made history as the first African American woman to captain a U.S. naval ship in 1999. Howard was born on March Air Force Base, now March Air Reserve Base, California, where her father served as a master sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. By the time she was 12 years old, she had started thinking about embarking on a career in the military. Howard discovered, however, that opportunities for women in the U.S. military academies during the early 1970s were non existent. That circumstance changed when U.S. President Gerald Ford signed, in 1975, the Military Procurement Bill, which provided for the admission, starting in 1976, of women into military academies. During high school, Howard applied to the U.S. Naval Academy, Annapolis, Maryland, and upon entering the academy in 1978, she became one of only seven black women in the school's class of 1,363 students. She graduated in 1982 and later earned, in 1998, a master's degree in military arts and sciences from the U.S. Army's Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. During Howard's sophomore year at the Academy, she piloted her first ship, the destroyer USS Superience, during a summer training cruise. She served aboard the submarine tender USS Hunley, 1982 to 1985, and the training aircraft carrier USS Lexington, 1985 to 1987, before being named in 1990 the chief engineer aboard the USS Mount Hood. She assumed the duties of first lieutenant in 1992 aboard the USS Flint and was the executive officer in 1996 on the USS Tortuga. By taking command of the USS Rushmore, Howard became the first African American woman to captain a U.S. naval ship. She served May 2004 to September 2005 as the commander of the Amphibious Squadron 7, which aided in relief in the aftermath of the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004. She became the first African American woman to lead a U.S. Navy battle group when in 2009 she took command of the Expeditionary Strike Group 2. The flotilla guarded from April 2009 to July 2010 the Persian Gulf as part of the U.S. War on Terrorism and performed anti piracy operations in the Indian Ocean. Sailors under her leadership rescued Richard Phillips, the captain of the container ship MV Maersk Alabama, who was held hostage from April 8th to the 12th, 2009 by Somali pirates. Howard also served in a number of onshore positions, notably as Deputy Director of the Expeditionary Warfare Division under the Chief of Naval Operations, Senior Military Assistant to the Secretary of the Navy, Chief to the Staff to the Director for Strategic Plans and Policy, and Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Operations Plans and Strategies, N3/N5. On July 1st, 2014, Howard became the first woman promoted to the rank of four-star admiral in the U.S. Navy. That day, she was also appointed to the 38th Vice Chief of Naval Operations, VCNO, making her the second highest ranking officer in the U.S. Navy. In 2016, she became Commander of Naval Forces in Europe and Africa. The following year, she retired from the Navy. In 2021, Howard became chair of the Commission on the Naming of Items of the Department of Defense that commemorate the Confederate States of America or any person who served voluntarily with the Confederate States of America, commonly known the Naming Commission.